The day the HOA tried to take my farmhouse, they thought they were crushing a stubborn old woman with chickens and a barn. What they didn't know: every mortgage in their perfect little neighborhood passed across my desk. And the moment they pushed too far, I stopped being patient. The day Christine Vance showed up in my driveway, she stepped out of a black SUV like she was arriving to inspect damaged property. I was scattering feed for my hens when her heels sank slightly into the gravel. She looked around like the air itself offended her. "Flat as tax season," she said, brushing imaginary dust off her cream blazer. "I'm Christine Vance, HOA president. Your property is in violation of multiple community standards." I didn't rush. Didn't react. I just wiped my hands on my apron and asked, "Which standards?" She gestured toward my barn. "Livestock. Compost. Visible firewood. Non-conforming driveway. This isn't rural land anymore. It's Riverside Meadows." I almost smiled. "This land was here before Riverside Meadows," I said calmly. "And it's exempt from your HOA. Recorded with the county. Permanent." She gave me that tight smile people use when they've already decided they're right. "We're updating standards," she said. "You'll receive formal notice." A week later, I did. Certified mail. 4 pages of violations. 30 days to comply or face escalating fines. The fines alone could have bought a new truck every month. I read the letter at my grandmother's kitchen table, the same table that had seen weddings, funerals, and 4 generations grow up on this land. Then I walked to my office and opened a folder marked 2001. There it was. Page 7. Section 12. Permanent exemption in perpetuity. Irrevocable. Recorded. They didn't have a case. But that didn't stop them. At the next HOA meeting, I presented the document. Christine barely glanced at it. "The neighborhood has evolved," she said to the crowd. "We can't let outdated exceptions lower property values." Lower property values. That phrase stuck. The inspection started 2 weeks later. County trucks. Septic checks. Structural reviews. Health department visits. Every inspector left saying the same thing: "Ma'am, everything is compliant." But the complaints kept coming. Then a neighbor slipped. "She's been asking people to report you," Martha whispered at the mailbox. "Says your place is holding the neighborhood back." Holding it back from what? That's when I decided to check the county records myself. And I found it. A preliminary development filing on my land. Applicant: Kevin Briggs, HOA Vice President. Proposal: 12 luxury townhomes. Location: my 5 acres. Suddenly everything made sense. This wasn't about chickens. It was about clearing space. They needed me gone. And that's when I stopped reacting and started calculating. You see, Christine saw an old woman in an apron. She didn't see 40 years in banking. She didn't know Riverside Community Bank, the one holding most of the mortgages in Riverside Meadows, was largely owned by me. 65%, to be exact. Silent partner. Quiet power. I made one phone call. "Robert," I said, "pull every active mortgage in Riverside Meadows. Full portfolio review." There was a pause. "All of them?" "All." 2 weeks later, the HOA filed formal action to seize my property. In court, Kevin testified he had no financial interest in my land. My attorney waited until he finished. Then he slid the development filing across the table. Silence filled the room. The judge denied the seizure attempt and warned the HOA about harassment. You'd think that would have ended it. But power-hungry people don't quit when embarrassed. Christine showed up again, this time with a condemnation notice for my barn. "Structural engineer says it's unsafe," she said sweetly. "We're protecting the community." I took the paper. Then I asked her one question. "Who holds your mortgage?" She blinked. That's irrelevant. Riverside Community Bank, I continued calmly. Loan balance just over $300,000. Refinanced in 2021. The color drained from her face. I own the bank, I said quietly. No threats. No raised voice. Just truth. The following week, every homeowner in Riverside Meadows received a letter. Mortgage compliance audits. Documentation requests. Property valuations. Routine. Legal. Standard procedure. But terrifying. Panic spreads quickly when people realize the ground under them isn't as solid as they thought. Christine called first. This is retaliation. Retaliation is illegal, I said. Portfolio reviews aren't. Kevin tried refinancing. No one approved him. The HOA attorney suddenly wanted to resolve matters peacefully. Board members resigned one by one. Christine listed her house within a month. Kevin's development company quietly dissolved. And here's the part people always expect to go differently. I never foreclosed on anyone. Not one house. I didn't need to. Power doesn't always have to strike. Sometimes it just needs to exist. A year later, my porch still catches the sunset the same way. The barn still casts its long shadow across the grass. My chickens still wander wherever they please. The new HOA board doesn't bother me. Peace returned. Not because they became kind, but because they finally understood consequences. And I still think about that question. If someone tries to take everything your family built, and the only way to stop them is to use power you never wanted to use, are you wrong for using it? Or is that just survival? Out here, between the quiet and the chickens, I've learned something. Right and wrong aren't always loud. But roots? Roots are worth defending.